Welcome, everyone, to our podcast. Today, we're sitting with partners in school nutrition, diving into actionable inspiration to provide you not only ideas, but strategies for success. I'm your host, Maureen Pisanick, and I'm thrilled to explore this topic with you and with some of our school nutrition friends. Well, we are so excited to welcome Lisa Good. She is the VP of Sales and Marketing for I3 Education. And what we love about schools is I say it takes a village, right? Mm-hmm. It takes a village to get the school day going and get the food served. But your role is important because we can't count and claim and get federal funding without a point of sale. So today, among many other suites of software, you are a K-12 specialty company that really helps focus on enhancing technology and tools that ultimately save us as school professionals time, efficiencies, and we all need to check those boxes for our admin reviews, right?
Right.
I love it. I love it. So you spent 14 years working in our industry. Is that correct?
I did, yes.
And in school nutrition managing programs across Ohio. So what schools were you in?
Well, I work for a management company. Yep. So I worked at Nile City School. I was in La Brea. We were all over the state. And I also was in Michigan for quite a while as well.
We won't hold that against you.
Yeah,
we're Ohio people.
I did go up with an Ohio State sweatshirt a few times, and it was a big mistake.
You have to be careful. You have to be careful.
Yeah. And then I took over a regional manager role. So, I helped manage the on-site directors for a very long time.
I love this. So why I'm bringing this up and talking a little bit even before we launch into our, the questions that everybody wants to know is because I think it's so important for people that sell products to schools to actually know what happens in schools, right?
Couldn't agree more.
Yes. So I think for us, the biggest thing is I was a food service director prior to becoming a consultant. And what I really want to do is make folks' lives easier, right? Be the extra set of hours in the day, arms when they need it. And so for us, technology is a necessary evil in cafeteria spaces.
Sure is.
Awesome. Well, today is Innovation Academy, and thank you for being a part of our podcast.
Yeah, happy to be here.
We are here to really innovate school year startup, okay? But this is going to be for everybody all year long to talk about what's innovative in our industry.
Yeah.
So one of the things I envision, and when I was a food service director, it was when everybody would bring money, and they were using coins, and you would have a lot of time counting money, balancing drawers, taking bank deposits. When I was a food service director, I chose probably early adopter to go cashless. And that was hard to sell to the community. There was a lot of no, we want to be able to accept money. And that was my decision as a director. Yeah. But what I wanted was faster speed in our school lines, right? Because the bell rings and undoubtedly you get a bar rush of people coming in and you've got to get them out of the line.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that. What is PaySchools thinking about utilizing technology about getting kids through the line in the most effective ways now and in the future?
Yeah, this is a great question because we're actually in the process of rewriting Quick Lunch. So those of the audience that knows PaySchools and our Quick Lunch solution, we're going to rewrite it. And when we're rewriting it, it's to look at those innovations. So we met with ODE, we met with USDA to see what regulations do we have to consider in the scope of development to actually get some of these technologies into the system. Can we come through and have a student tray actually take a picture and they can go through without a cashier?
Oh, I love that idea.
So we had to look at the regulations first and see how it would work with software. And then it's the cost. So cost is a big factor. I always think of the examples of back when big screen TVs were, overpriced. Because it was new and it was exciting. And that's kind of how this technology is, to find those cameras that can image all those components. Right now, it's very expensive.
Sure.
So is it the right time to really put that in? Because will schools be able to afford it? So if they can't, let's pivot. Let's go to what else can they do for innovations with technology? Can we do self-checkout lines, credit cards in person? We get a lot of requests for that. So that is coming down the road. So what other things can we do to aid that innovation that they're looking for?
I love that. So cost is obviously a factor in school. So I appreciate that you're trying to make these costs. But I do feel futuristic. I'm going to be 50 this year. So I say that aloud and proud. But I remember watching the Jetsons growing up, and it was like, it feels like a lot of ways that we're using technology wherever we go. It's like futuristic in that we used to think things couldn't be robotic, or self-checkouts are everywhere now. Talk to me a little bit about how PaySchools can integrate with vending, because I know that's one thing that schools do now, right? So I would love the idea of a plate picture and a cashierless system coming down the pike. But right now, there's technologies that can help aid in a cashierless process with vending. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, our software can connect. We partner with Venducation, and they can go ahead and set it up so they can use their identification number, put it in. And in that vending machine, you can have reimbursable meals, so it can count towards their status. You can put a la carte as well. So you can serve meals and help aid from that service line that's bogging down. And really, those are very successful at that high school level. Career centers, I find, benefit a lot from it. So yeah, you can connect that right from a vending machine. It's an investment going in, people know, but we have a lot of data that shows that it pays itself off within a few years.
Yep. One of the things I like to introduce to schools is common sense approaches to where do students come into the building and where do they leave the building. So if you're looking at building your breakfast participation, when I think about schools that ask us as a consulting team, like, what should I do with this vending program? So I think sometimes we need to coach schools not to compete against themselves, but look at programs they need to grow. So a lot of folks are saying, hey, my breakfast participation is low. How can I increase that? One of our big suggestions as a consulting group is to look at how kids are getting into the building, either through the student parking lot at a secondary level, or where the buses drop off.
Right.
And so those children that are offered breakfast that just maybe don't want to walk down to the cafeteria because it's off the beaten path and they want to get to their classroom first, I love the idea of the convenience of parents being able to put money on an account and students to be able to walk past something as a no-brainer, so that if they forgot their breakfast in the morning or ran out of time, like most families in the morning are running, that they would be able to stop and pick up a breakfast and it still be credited towards the school's count for breakfast, and also for parents that the kids aren't fumbling with money or having to have something they carry in. It just makes it easy. It makes it easy for them.
That's key. You got to look to see where you need to put all of that, the hardware. Even if we do a breakfast kiosk, you're not going to put it right by your breakfast kiosk that's right there. You got to go to where your audience is.
I love that. And also with the vending and the accounts, we find schools that have a lot of students that obviously come early for whatever reason, practices, educational opportunities, clubs, and after school. So those vending machines that you think may or may not be helpful to your meal periods, if you think that's the case, still open your brain and the opportunities for students that, again, don't carry cash or would love a tap to pay situation or some sort of ease of being able to purchase an item because they're at school until after hours.
It's a long day.
It's a long day.
Yeah.
And kids that are not well fueled cannot eat. So we cannot go to school and learn and do those things. So the idea of having money to fuel the bank account that fuels the lunch purchase or breakfast purchase or a la carte purchase is not all about the consumerism of it. I like to say the cafeteria is an extension of the classroom.
Yes.
And so for us, it really is about our part in making it easy for kids to have access to food, regardless of their status. So talk a little bit about that. I know that we talk about kids being able to pay. Talk about overt identification. I know that one of our big goals is to really protect students that qualify for reduced or free meals in schools. PaySchools does a great job on that. So talk a little bit about how you educate schools to point of sales really being a really good way to do that.
Yeah, it definitely hides the status code, and you can enable that feature to not even code it. So we code it from the front end for the cashier to see, but everybody learns the codes after a while, and maybe not the student, or, that's why we always train, don't have your cashier point of sale facing the students. Have it face yourself, so you can go in and you can have that to have a code that $, we use $, percentage, and the paid sign. So it's very discreet. I love that. Discreet. So everybody has the opportunity to use the point of sale, and they will do that in a vending situation as well as futuristic plans. I love that. Absolutely.
So I have to ask you, when I first started, I was one of the early adopters to Biometrics, which again, no cash and Biometrics, I think it blew people's mind in that school district. So what do you think is the best identify? What's your favorite identifier to use? So if a kid's going through, is it a pin pad? Is it a biometric? What do you think works most consistently?
I love this question because my favorite when I was a director was the dual. So you had the keypad and the scanner in the front.
Okay.
I like that one the best because the kids wouldn't remember their badge that they would have.
Yep.
So now they can go ahead and you weren't buying two different units. And a lot of us, we do sell the two different units so they can have it. But I like the dual system. Biometrics is great. We partner with Biometrics, who has a great product out there for biometrics to get them in. But it's really a use case scenario because at elementary, biometrics is great. High school, they should know their PIN number by now.
Right. They memorize all the numbers,
they memorize
the digits,
that stuff. So I was big on sending home a flyer at the beginning of the school year, and I would give them a reward, a sticker, something that they can have and teach the students to come in and learn that identification number. Now, I know some student information systems, those identification numbers are getting quite long. So you can always put in a PIN number as well.
Gotcha.
We can do that. But key to that, too, is push it down the line. So push your actual keypad down the line.
Okay.
Don't keep it up by the cashier station. I would always take it and put it down a couple feet.
Okay.
That way we can queue in there.
Aha.
Because where the students are just waiting. They already got their meal. They selected everything. So now they're just hanging out. They can put their PIN number in there. And then when you come up, you select the name and
So
they're
it's
already ready to go.
queuing. I love that idea. That's actually helpful. I think some people think it has to be there, but as long as it's queuing and you're identifying at the end of the line, that's an awesome way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, last question, my favorite question. When you ate school lunch, what was your favorite school lunch?
So people would know I would show up on popcorn chicken bowl day and macaroni and cheese day with peas.
Okay.
So
with peas.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So if you put that on your menu, give me a call because I will stop by. Those
I
are my
love
two
it.
favorites.
I love it. But you know what? I love that you brought up an idea, and that is knowing what your favorite is. You went back to that. So we always coach schools. We're the recipe side of it. You're the point of sale side. Your participation days, look at those CN6 and CN7. Look at those participation report numbers in Ohio and other states that help queue. What are those popular days? Because there are people that come back time and time again for the same lunch.
Yes.
And you were one of them.
I was one of them. I knew. And I would have my directors even text me or call me and say, hey, your favorite meal's on today. Are you coming?
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for being with us today. NutriSmart Snax is a goal to have a good conversation and give some people some quick information about what we do. So we appreciate all you do for us.
Thanks.
Thank you.